Cats is the big-budget Hollywood film adaptation of the beloved Andrew Lloyd Webber musical that has been touring the world since the early 1980s. The sung-through musical was itself based on Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, a poetry collection by T.S. Eliot. I saw the musical as a kid when it toured Australia, but I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan of the musical or anything like that. Tom Hooper directs this adaptation, having previously handled the big-budget film adaptation of Les Miserables back in 2012, and this version of Cats sticks pretty closely to the musical. If you're a die-hard fan of Cats, then you should be pleased to know that the film is actually pretty faithful, with Old Deuteronomy's gender change being the only major tweak. Hooper's film sticks with the sung-through nature of the musical, where over the course of the movie, there are very few breaks in between songs, with only a few instances of actual conversation. The film follows the Jellicle Cats, trying to make what's called the Jellicle Choice, where the tribe chooses a cat to ascend to the Heaviside layer, their version of heaven, where that cat will be reborn into a new life. If that sounds wacky and insane, that's because it is wacky and insane. This is about cats with magic powers trying to reach the afterlife. However, if you're a fan of the musical, you know exactly what you're getting into. This is a big, bold, and colourful film that favours dance, music, and poetry over any traditional narrative structure, much like the musical did. The Cats musical features a large cast, with many different cats with different names, and the Cats movie makes sure to honour that by featuring an ensemble cast who are often always on screen together, aside from key characters who only really appear for key musical numbers. James Corden, Judi Dench, Jason Derulo, Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson, and Francesca Hayward all do a remarkable job in both performing and singing the big numbers, with Jennifer Hudson's take on Memory being the big standout piece. Big names like James Corden, Jason Derulo, and Taylor Swift certainly add a welcome layer of star power and talent. However, their presence, particularly Taylor Swift's, is fairly brief, only appearing for their major number before disappearing from the film. I get that this is keeping in line with some of the characters from the musical, but it's still noteworthy. That being said, the music is as big and grand as people would expect from a musical like Cats, and it's easy to get drawn into the moment. Even the big new addition, the song Beautiful Ghosts, which Taylor Swift worked on with Andrew Lloyd Webber, feels like it fits in with the rest of the songs wonderfully, and that's what most people are going to Cats to see. They want to be blown away by the memorable music and the big cast of characters. If you are a drama or theatre kid, Cats should be right up your alley. That all being said, Cats is not a movie that will work for everyone. With the film being so faithful to the musical, fans may wind up feeling like there aren't any real surprises, aside from the previously mentioned Taylor Swift song. Additionally, while the structure of Cats may work well as a musical, meant to be experienced on the stage, as a film adaptation, there's a bit to be desired, as for many people, there may not be much to distinguish this as anything more than a collection of music videos. The whole movie is told through song. There are very few traditional conversations, with no real creative liberties taken in adapting the musical into cinematic language. While I didn't mind this all too much, as I acknowledge this is in keeping with the musical, I realize it may frustrate others wanting a more traditional film experience. And then we have the much discussed CGI for the Cats themselves, which I have to admit, I didn't mind after a while. The cast of Cats filmed their scenes using motion capture, which allowed VFX artists to digitally alter the actors into cat-like bodies. But in keeping with the spirit of the musical and T.S. Eliot's poems, the cats are humanoid and have human features, which in early trailers gave off an uncanny valley vibe. While it is initially distracting and weird seeing human hands and feet on the body of cats, especially when they start wearing sneakers, I quickly got over it, thanks to Tom Hooper keeping most of the attention on the faces of the cats, while knowing when to appropriately use full body shots for big dance numbers. This is very much a film meant to show off dance choreography and singing talent. The CGI doesn't always work, however, as motion capture is also used for some brief scenes with mice and cockroaches, which definitely threw me off a bit. Additionally, the decision to make the cats within scale to their environment can cause them to stand out amongst the massive sets, with a lot of excess space in the frame that isn't being used, at times making it feel like the cats have just been dropped into the scene. Tom Hooper also doesn't move his camera a great deal either, relying on capturing performances within relatively basic, locked single shots. Hopefully this experience gives Tom Hooper more confidence to experiment with CGI in future projects. Cats is honestly fine. It's nowhere near the train wreck that a lot of people online were claiming it would be. However, it's definitely not a movie for everyone. If you love the Cats music, or you want to see the musical without having to fork out the extra cash to see it on stage, then the Cats movie offers a pretty welcome experience that can at times be quite wonderful, even if it is faithful to a fault. Either way, if you go to see Cats, there is a good chance that you'll have the music stuck in your head for some time, so that's something. Guys, I hope you like this review. If you want to see more reviews just like this one, stay right here for your Mono Fix. Bye guys!